Guys, this is a banana and walnut bread, but I'm using Donegal rapeseed oil as my fat. I have a mixture of flours here, wholemeal and plain. I will be omitting the walnuts and putting in pecans. I have 4 ripe bananas. I've also got some natural yogurt, some vanilla essence, some beaten eggs, light brown sugar, some salt, baking powder, baking soda and cinnamon. I've lined a couple of tins. I've got my utensils there, mixing bowl, sieve and my scales. And as I said, the fat I'm using is the Donegal rapeseed. So I'm going to mash those bananas and add in the yogurt and the baking soda until it grows and it's gone fluffy. And you get this nice wobbly consistency. Nice little jiggly bowl of mashed banana. I am using a 1/2 cup measure here because I'm doubling the recipe. I'm making 2 cakes. So I'm going to use a 1/2 cup of the classic Donegal rapeseed oil. Now this recipe is available on their website. It's also available in their charity cookbook, but you can access it there directly on their website. Just make sure and get all that oil in there. This lends itself really well to the cake. You get a lovely moist finish. Okay, I'm going to put in some beaten eggs. My vanilla essence. You can use bean paste or vanilla pod seed as well if you wish. I'm going to pop in the light brown sugar. I'm going to bring it all together with the whisk. It's going to have a lovely dark toffee colour on this. Bring it all together to a nice paste. It's going to thicken slightly as well. You want to make sure it's well beaten through. No lumps or anything in there. So just take your time with this. Brilliant. Now, so to that mixture of flour, the whole grain and the plain, I'm going to add the cinnamon. I'm also going to put in some baking powder and some salt, a good pinch of salt. And I'm going to sieve that in on top of the wet ingredients. Because I'm using wholemeal, the bits of the whole grain that's left in the flour won't go down through the sieve. So you will see me tip them in at the end. Don't be afraid to get your hands stuck in here. It's all part of the process. It's all part of the making and the baking and the enjoying. So sieve it down in there and get the hands in and work through that last bit of plain flour and spices. This is going to aerate it. So this is all going to ensure that you get a nice fluffy cake between the banana mixture, baking powder and sieving. And there we go, in with that lovely wobbly plate of mashed banana, yogurt and bread soda. So you can see here, you can just see those air pockets. You want to keep those in as much as possible. That's the reaction between the soda and the natural yogurt, and it creates the air pockets. It's really, really cool. So we're going to cut it in because we want to keep that air in there after building it. A metal spoon is best. You're going to turn the bowl. I turn mine, I think it's anti-clockwise. And you just cut round by the outside and cut in through to the centre, rubbing your spoon along the sides and the base of the bowl as you go to make sure you're incorporating all. You don't want a heavy hand with this. You don't want to be in there beating it. You're going to knock out all the air. You want to keep this light and fluffy. So just cut that in. Take your time. And just before the last few stirs, when all the flour is incorporated, we're going to take it to the next step. So I'm letting this play in real time so you can see at what stage I move on to the next stage. There you go. Almost nearly there. Another few. Just making sure I get the bottom of that bowl. Get that lift, get it up off the bottom of the bowl. Now, in with the pecans. You can use walnuts. I'm just using pecans. It's my preference. And that's it. You just want to bring this through. Make sure it's kind of evenly stirred through. They will hold in that mixture. It's quite dense. So you want them speckled throughout the cake. You don't want them all isolated into one part. Now, when I put this into my tins, I am going to weigh my tins to make sure that they are equal. I want them to bake evenly. So they're going into a preheated oven at 180 non-fan. After 40 minutes, I took them out and I covered the tops with foil and I put them back in for another 15 minutes. The recipe does call for a 40-minute bake time, 40 to 50, but just err on the side of caution with your own oven. So there's a lovely rise on those, as you can see. They lifted well. There's a lovely shine. That's the natural sugars and the fats from the rapeseed coming to the surface. And there you can see the pecans speckled throughout. There's a lovely thick crust on this, and it's almost treacly. It's really, really delicious. And in the forthcoming days, the natural sugars, this bread will just get better and better. I've wrapped the second one and put it in the freezer, so there'll be a treat next week. I hope you enjoy it, guys.